Happy Monday, everyone. Welcome to another fine week in the year. This happens to be the 3rd of July, the 4th of July Eve, I guess. If you want to, stretch the holiday out, it's the weekend, end of the weekend, Monday, the weekend end. I guess that's what we call Monday. So we got a lot to talk about. A lot of stuff happened over the week, and I can't read any of it without my glasses. You can't be cool and functional. So I'm neither cool nor functional. Hello, everyone. Pizza Giraffe, Mike, Ronan, Hans. Who do we got else? Kyle. Good to see you. David, Cat House, Phil, Kyle again, Phil, and Christopher, and Phil, and Ron. Everybody's here. Text Terry. Yeah, you should see the looks I get, or I used to get, when I wore this hat on election day back in Chicago. You don't wear the flag in Chicago. You just don't. It's not done in polite society. You don't wear it. So it was election day. I'm like, we should all kind of celebrate America on election day. That's our day, right? And I wore it, and the marketing office I worked in looked at me askance. I didn't wear it all day, just wore it on the train, and I wore it to the polling station, and now I'm here. So yeah, I got Kim Jong-un hair going on. Maybe I shouldn't have worn the hat. Or kid and play, whatever you think. Patty's here. Greetings and salutations. We got Ray Kelly. We got Stephen Wayne Allison Jr. I have not seen Mark. If Mark is here. Producer Jill's looking for Mark. I know. Thoughts and prayers with Mark. He's doing surgeries and stuff. And I don't want to share his medical history. There's the HIPAA. Oh, check it out. Look at that. The night he came home. So yeah, Halloween, 4th of July, it's all a festival of sorts going on in the Tennessee, Chi-Town. I have a flag cycling jersey for tomorrow's ride. Nice. Take a nice ride. I see emails from CD in my inbox now. So Substack, I had that on my thing. Has anybody subscribed to the Substack? You know what? Let me do this. Magic Duff Bucket. What you got? Duff Bucket. I have no more Rapture. I did not put any Guinness in the fridge ahead of time. So it is White Russian. It is a White Russian. And I didn't want to mix it ahead of time. That's kind of impolite. It's like starting without you. There you go. Unleash the potential of the White Russian storm. I mean, is this Russian collusion? I don't know. What's up? Mitch is here too. One more email about the boogeyman. Number one's here. Hello, number one. Pizza Giraffe is excellent to see you. Hope you're reading that book. Did the books go out yet, Mitch? Only trade so far. So the Kickstarter, the Philip Fracassi Kickstarter, anybody's on that. The trades, the signed arcs, the things that were in hand are going to go out. You got to wait a little longer for the BTIV Bible edition. Oh, the cool kids call it BTIV. BITV. See, I mixed it up. I'm not cool. BITV. It's like bisexual television. BITV. Those Bible editions are going to go out later because they have to be rebound. Night of the Living Clown. An unstirred White Russian. Yes, I had to do it. I can't shake it. I'm not going to shake it. I could gently gyrate it. That's the name of the episode tonight. Gently gyrate. Just make sure you get my Addy. Yeah, I subscribed just to see what it was. Never heard of Substack before. That's actually what I was going to do, but my natural aversion to cemetery dance prevented me from going forward with subscribing to their Substack so I could learn about this Substack social media platform. Um, I thought Substack was a Reddit thing, subreddit. I was all lost. I just went there and I was looking it up, but I just could not do it. So if somebody else wants to start a Substack, somebody I like anybody here, I would I will subscribe to your Substack to check it out to learn about Substack. I like the typo on one of their comments. Whet your appetite. Whet your appetite. That's funny. That is funny. I saw it somewhere else. Somebody said bury the lead. Oh, yeah, it was a Jake Tapper book. I saw one of the newsletters I subscribed to was selling a Jake Tapper book, and it's like something about the news and burying the lead, but they spelled it Lead. A typo when you're referring to journalism is like an even bigger typo, more grievous typo. Lead. It's Lede when you bury the lead. But whatever. I don't care. I really don't care. I read somewhere that Boys in the Valley will be featured in a Nightworms box soon. Yes, I could not bring myself to go again for Nightworms. I passed on the Lansdale Nightworms. I mean, it's the buying freezes in full effect, yo. So I just couldn't do it. I would get a Boys in the Valley that's dinged. So that's what you're gonna get if you do it via Nightworms. Maybe. I don't know. Maybe are they doing the paperback or the hardcover? They're probably doing the hardcover. They're better suited just to stick to paperbacks. Of course, hardcovers are preferable, but if you're gonna send them in a padded envelope, just do a paperback. Anyway, he is going to be in the Nightworms package, which is very cool, and I'm happy for the new readers, the people maybe who wouldn't have bought it or didn't know about it now are suddenly going to get it. Maybe they'll read it. Where is it? Oh, I'm rereading it. it I'm like, if the gospel according to Jeff, right? You've got to reread books, people, and maybe even reread them as soon as you can after finishing the first read. Maybe give it a little bit of time to let the sediment settle from the story. Let sort of give yourself time to reflect on the story, but get back to it because I'm loving it even more the second read. And I think it's because there are a lot of characters thrown at you in the beginning. There are a lot of orphans and the priests and the people in the town. And I my reading comp, I, I don't know how many brain cells I killed in my teen years, in my early 20s. I have no idea. Astronomical galaxy Milky Way size of my brain is gone. So if you give me a lot of characters to follow, I'm going to be distracted trying to follow those characters. But that's just me. I mean, there are other people with better reading comprehension, and it did not deter my absolute love of the book. What I'm saying is that upon the reread, I knew the characters and I didn't have to sit and like, oh, wait, who's that? Who's that? And it's even better. It's just such a great read. And then, of course, knowing what's coming, knowing what's going to happen, knowing about the whole. It's just awesome. It is. It really is. I didn't think I could like the book anymore. And I think initially I gave it a 4-star rating. Then over time, as I was reflecting, I'm like, I really like that book. I read subsequent books and I'm like, yeah, by comparison, this is just such a great read. So it elevated in my rear view. That happens. That's a fair thing. And now on the reread, if I had to review it again, and give it a fresh rating, it'd be a solid 5. Especially, like I said, especially knowing what's coming. What an awesome book. And in other Fracassi news, so two things, and they're both in the description under this video. The UK edition, the Orbit edition of Boys in the Valley is available. You can get it at Blackwell's. Thank you, Mike Hughes. Oh, yeah, you just commented. I see it. Yeah. You could get it shipped to the US for $11 for the paperback of Boys in the Valley, the Orbit UK cover. It's very cool. And I mean, obviously that sort of expenditure is reserved for the hardcore fans who want to have as many wonderful editions of Boys in the Valley as possible because they're Fracassi freaks. My collection won't be complete because I'm not getting the Bible edition. So, but or the Spanish language edition, which I know Mitch has, which is cool. The cover is totally off the mark for the book. If you saw that book, if you saw that cover and then you read the book, you'd be like, what the hell? It's not summertime. The field is not grassy, and it's not this tranquil piece of wonderful natural solitude. It's orphans who are trying to survive in a bitter, horrible, demonic winter. Shit. Anyway, I thought that was a funny cover. So yes, it is going to be. Hey, new body, good to see you. Ordered Boys from Blackwell's. Yeah, lead versus lead is bad. It's just stupid. Just read here in a book yesterday. It makes me grind my teeth. Here. You're not calling your dog. You're not saying here. You're not agreeing with calling the dog. Oh, that's funny. I think, there are times where we say things and the first time you see them in print or whatever, you don't see them in print. I don't know, but get it right. Just get it right. It's a small thing to do. Boys in the Valley reread is next on my list. And I hope it goes for you the same way it does. It is for me, Flash, Phil. It's a great time to go back to it. And I got chills the very first few lines of the book. Yes, Boys has to have a reread. Yeah, I can just throw one of mine across the room if I want it to look like Nightworms. Yeah, but throw it like a frisbee, so you got to make sure you get those corners dinged up. Again, I'm hoping that does really well for both Nightworms and Philip Fracassi. I don't wish ill on anyone. I just, they're it's not like they're CD who deserve the ire. And I have rants about CD going. I'm gonna come up here. Which wins out, Boys in the Valley or Gothic? Boys in the Valley is more serious. I mean that's not that's a sledgehammer versus a scalpel, right? It's like if I just say it's more serious, it's still super enjoyable. It's darker in a more there's more dread. Gothic, there's more raucous fun. Granted, I haven't reread Gothic, so I don't know what my reread will surface for me. I mean, like I'm a convert on this reread thing. Even though my TBR is full of books I haven't read and I need to get to Dune. But the reread, man, that is gravy. And of course, you're only going to reread the books you love unless you're feeling pressured into giving a book a second try because everybody loves it, like The Mailman. But that ain't for me, dog. But I am going to read The Store. I want the Spanish edition. Yeah, the Spanish language edition. Uh, is it Los Hijos and de Valle? Oh man, I shouldn't try Spanish. That was offensive, probably. Los Hijos or Los Chicos. I don't remember. I don't. Hello, James. Good to see you. I don't read Dean Koontz. I read Watchers when I was like 15, and I liked it, but it just wasn't horror enough, and it wasn't. It felt like it was. I was already grizzled, and cynical, and looking for the harder stuff when I was 15. So I don't. Watchers just missed me. Maybe if I was like 12 and I started reading Kuntz and King at the same time, but I was on King and I already wanted something worse than King. I wanted something darker and edgier and scarier, and Dean Koontz didn't seem to offer that to me at the time. But I did have a favorable impression of Watchers because I love dogs, and this dog could communicate telepathically. Am I getting that wrong? There was some cool about the dog. I don't remember. The Spanish edition has a beautiful cover. It does. It is a pastoral painting. It's very nice. It just does not fit that book. I used to collect a lot of Dean Koontz in the 80s. From 76 to 88 was great. Beyond that timeline, not so much. I haven't read him since 95's Intensity. I also wanted to like Peter Straub, and I read Ghost Story and loved it. And then I tried to read Coco, and I couldn't crack that nut. And I think it was the opposite of what I was experiencing with Kuntz. I think with Straub, he was too grown up, too mature for me, too adult. And I maybe too intellectual, too academic. And when I read for pleasure, I want that I had to do a little delay there because oh oh I'm in the air. One of these days I'm gonna change my evil ways. So I'll just keep driving on. ACDC. But yeah, when I read for pleasure, it's like I think I said that in my recent reads video about Confederacy of Dunces, and how when somebody's like, "This is a literary accomplishment," and it's going to be a really rewarding read, you hear that and you're like, "Yes, it probably will be. I'm not going to touch that book." And then when you do, it is a very rewarding read. I loved it. I could see so much in other people reflect, like that book is a distillation of educated people, like of the worst kinds, the worst parts of civilized uh society, and or the worst parts of educated society. I don't know how to say it, but the institutions that we look to for the civilization and the society and the stability that we've come to expect, the safety and all that, those institutions are run by people who are flawed. And this book gets everybody at their worst, but they're comically worst. It's not horror, but it's a brilliant book. So anyway, I don't know. I don't really know if I would like Peter Straub. And I'm going to reread, or I'm going to read. I'm going to give him another shot with Floating Dragon. I have the Cemetery Dance edition, and that has always called to me. I really want to dig into it. So I will, and I'll let everybody know what I think of that. Um, His earlier work is different, but I actually like most of his books. I only bought a couple of signed editions, though. I got the latest Charnel House edition of Watchers. Yeah, if you're a Kuntz fan, you gotta be following Charnel House. Charnel House, Charnel. I don't even want to try to say that word right. I like the word. I like the name of that company, and I like what they do. They do Dean Koontz, Tim Powers. Who else are there? Does he focus on? He did Harlan Ellison. I don't know, but he sticks to the same authors, and he just does their catalog. Why haven't you gotten to Dune? Not a big fan of sci-fi. Now, I do like sci-fi, and Dune is another one of those books. Not the literary accomplishment, but the cultural accomplishment. Just like Godfather, I resisted watching Godfather forever because it was like a cultural staple. You had to read it. If you like sci-fi, you had to, or fantasy, you had to read Dune. And just something, I just am a natural contrarian, I guess. And I don't know. Um, I don't know. There's no good reason. I just saw Dune as, yeah, that's the sandbox those kids playing. I'm over here in the horror forest. I'm in the cabin where everybody's getting stabbed. That's my house. You guys are in the sandbox and you guys are in your rocket ship over there. Even though I did love Ray Bradbury. I do love science fiction when I read it. Blind Sight's amazing. Um, so yes, Philip K. Dick is phenomenal. So I probably will love Dune. So I'm going to read it. Um, I just have not gotten around to it. Very different novels. I've read Gothic twice, but the one read of Boys is better than me. But Child Alone is still my favorite. Yeah, that's how it goes. You start to remember the other Philip Fracassi books, and you have to shuffle your favorites. Child Alone would be a great reread. Because there's so many different stages of that book, and you're just getting wound up and ready for the next stage. And I think you could be present longer in each stage as you go through. I have to read Mistborn by Brandon. I have to reread Mistborn by Brandon Sanderson. I just read it in December, but was distracted. Can't remember half the characters. Well, that's the fantasy. When you read these fantasy books, they have a whole huge cast, and like Dune. When I just flipped through, and there's an illustration for each character. Looks like a yearbook from a desert planet. So that's a little intimidating. It's also like European history class. Lord, High Court, Lady, Madam, King, Prince, Noble, all these people, Page Boy, I don't know, Edgelord. Potatoes call me an Edgelord. Okay. Okay. Dark emo elf. Is there a rivalry between King and Kuntz? Would love to see them collaborate. A lot of King fans bash Kuntz unfairly, I guess. I mean, how would you like it if Cormac McCarthy fans bashed King fans, or any fans bashed any other fans? This isn't football or soccer. We're not hooligans. Ghost Story was a fun read. I can't wait for the Centipede Press edition. Bon Scott, yeah, the best. Coco is really good and part of a great series. Well, maybe I would give it another try. Like I said, I think it was maybe too mature for me at the time. Bon Scott was awesome. Bon Scott, Sammy Hagar, John Bush. If you know, you know. Where are we at? Ugh. See, I missed a lot. I missed a lot. I like Coco too. Oh, thank you, Peter, for my Centipede Press video. There's so much I realized as I was trying to say how uniform Centipede Press was. And then I proceeded to talk about books that broke all the things I said were uniform about Centipede Press. I was just trying to give like basics. Um, he does often do that black cloth and et cetera and so on. I didn't mention that the signature page is always in the back. I didn't mention that. So there's some stuff I left on the table, but I'm happy to give people the basics so they because I remember when I wasn't getting the Centipede Press newsletter and I couldn't find it. I'm like, what am I doing wrong? Like, why is it so hard to find out how to get on this guy's newsletter? And I seriously just saw his email. I'm like, all right, well, I'm going to ask for support because I felt like that was you're asking support at a company. And then when I sent Jared the email saying, "Hey, can I be on your newsletter?" and I didn't hear back, and then I just started getting the newsletter. It was funny. He's just so loose with those rules. I just started Laird Barron's "The Wind Began to Howl." Yeah, so much to read after Swan Song. I'm thinking of Stella Maris. Yeah, I got this too. I've never read Isaiah Coleridge books. I've never read Laird Barron. Um, but Bad Hand Books had this pre-order. I shared it with everybody here to maybe get a copy because the proceeds were going to help Laird with his health issues. So, and this just got to me, so I was going to share it today. The Wind Began to Howl. Love the cover, and it is part of a series, but it was conveyed to me that I got flyaways. I needed to trim my beard. Look at that. Oh, um, that you didn't need to read the other books in this series. This works as a standalone, so I was really happy. I love some Straub, and Straub bored me to death. Oh, really? Yeah. I mean, that's kind of what it was. Coco was solid. The Throat was my favorite of those three, and the later Underhill novels are pretty good too. I read The Passenger. Still have to get to Stella Maris. I got to read I read the first sentence of it. Just the beautiful writing, and it's a drug. You get pulled in, you get hooked. And I was thinking about this as I was reading Boys in the Valley. There's some authors I read that make me want to write. They make me want to sit down and write anything. Just write about my day, write a little bit of flash fiction. Just write. It makes you want to create yourself. You're so moved. You're so you're reconnected to the written word at that core level, that emotional center. Cormac McCarthy's like that. Boys in the Valley was like that. And it could be different things. It could be just the mind-blowing prose, of course, from both of those, but also the worlds created pull you in and make you want to visit your own. Where are we at? I'm reading the Stormlight Archive now. Who are you saying that to? Patty. What'd Patty say? Brandon Sanderson. Charnel House. Yes, mostly Kuntz and Powers. Yeah. The Passenger and Stella Maris are coming up for me too. I've tried to read a few Straub books and just couldn't get into any of them. I'm hoping that I dig Floating Dragon. I think there was a lot of Straub in Black House because some of that just feels inaccessible. I don't know. I preferred Stella over Passenger. Julia bored me to tears. Unreadable. Damn. Yeah, me too. I need to go to Stella Maris while Passenger is somewhat fresh in my mind. I plan to read them back to back. Yeah. By Straub, I enjoyed Coco, The Blue Rose Stories, Buffalo Hunter, Floating Dragon, but I did not get into Shadowland, Hellfire Club, and Ghost Story. I didn't read Shadowland. Like I said, I only read Ghost Story, and I think that's it. And then the attempt on Coco. Have you read The Parasite and the Doll Who Ate His Mother by Ramsey Campbell? No. It's funny. Levidian, which brings me to Levidian. Levidian is doing. He did a tease for one of his upcoming books, and it's a long, long, long New York Times best-selling author that he published in an anthology at Cemetery Dance, and the he is Brian James Freeman, but he's never published this author in a standalone novel. I was thinking that might be Ramsey Campbell. What do you guys think? Is that the Levidian author that he's teasing? Ramsey Campbell? I don't know why I thought that, but I thought that. Mistborn was good. Mistborn was good. Did book 1 so far. Okay. I finished 4.5, went through the keyhole in my journey to the Dark Tower following the expanded. So are you reading them in order? So you read Dark Tower or Gunslinger, Drawing of the Three Wastelands, Wizard and Glass, went through the keyhole. Did you start with Little Sisters of Illyria? That's what I would start with. And then 1, 2, 3, 4, Wizard and Glass, went through the keyhole, Song of Susanna, or Wolves of the Colossus, Song of Susanna, and then the Dark Tower. 9. I mean, Little Sisters of Illyria is a novella, so 8.5 books. That's the order I would go in. Are you following those? Okay. I'm missing a whole lot here. Mistborn. Okay. I read The Endless Vessel by Charles Soule today. Excellent book if you like sci-fi, sort of dystopian. I read the first 10 pages or so in a bookstore, and the prose leaps out at you immediately. Of The Passenger. Yeah. I read The Doll Who Ate His Mother and The Face That Must Die by Campbell. I prefer his shorter works. I have The Face That Must Die. I got it from a thrift shop, and I bought it because of that title. How are you liking Stormlight? Okay, seriously, guys, if you have not pre-ordered Midas, do yourself a favor and order it. It is amazing. I loved it. I didn't buy it, but I loved it, and I reviewed it, and I think it's definitely worth the price for sure. I mean, it's a no-brainer, and it has art on the interior. You finished the latest King book and you were at the bookstore. No new King book. And right next to King was Coons. And his brand was close to King. That's pretty much why. It's like it's like a Nicorette gum. When you're trying to quit King, you chew on some Coons. Oh, that did not sound good. Please do not clip that. You people out there, make that go viral. I'm not even going to repeat it. Oh, I got Mr. Purple today. Not sure I'm going to read it. Yeah, you are. You got to read it. I'm going to read it as soon as I get it, and I'm getting it soon. It's going to the top of the pile. I just finished. Okay, yeah. Patty, the ending was phenomenal. Oh, they're talking about Mistborn. I'm still trudging through Boy's Life. Man, that book is dragging for me, and I love McCammon. That's okay. I'm currently writing a feature-length horror screenplay. I hope to film sometime. Well, good luck with that. Good luck. I just met with Lynn Hansen. Met with her. She was at an event with Jeff Strand. I did a video on it. It's gonna show tomorrow, and I'll talk about it a little bit. But she did some film, and that's really cool. It's a whole different art, of course. I love the written word, but could never write. Hell, I do good to write a review. Just can't put my thoughts in writing. It's not easy for everybody. Boy's Life started good, and he's just rambling about every little thing in the fictional town and everyone living in it. I really like Floating Dragon. That's good. What's the scariest book you've ever read? Johnny Got His Gun. Johnny Got His Gun. What else? This is good. This is good. I'm trying to read The Talisman, but just can't. I wonder how much was Peter versus how much is King. It feels more like, no, I'd say The Talisman is mostly King. The Talisman I adored. I mean, everybody can, react um, differently, of course. So, okay. I mean, everybody's different, but for me, The Talisman was just, I just felt like that was all King. It felt very much like a King read, but Black House was different, and you know what? Like, I could tell you about Wolf, about that crazy preacher, about that twisted prince, about the territories, about Jack Sawyer, about all these details of Speedy Parker. Everything about the Talisman is not everything, but so much is fresh, and so much feels like the Dark Tower. The wastelands, this sort of radioactive fallout area. Um, and I, for the life of me, can't really recall Black House. Go figure. Hi, Mr. Jeff. Hey, Pablo. Lynn's Lynn's from Horror. How is it going? My best regards. Okay, from Uruguay. Hey, Pablo. Good to see you. Yeah, Lynn is Lynn Hansen, Jeff Strand's wife, who did a bunch of art. Um, in interviews, King and Straub admitted to mimicking each other's writing styles so readers would guess wrong who wrote what. uh, that's it. I've never had a problem with The Talisman. I think I've read it twice. Love, absolutely adore that book. So I went. There was a special treat. I mentioned it last week that I was going to go see Jeff Strand at a Tennessee community library, and then I did it. I said I was going to do it. A couple days passed, then I did it. If you know introverts, it's often the case. They say they're going to do it. They say they're going to love to do it. It's going to be the greatest thing. Oh, I can't wait till it happens. Then the day comes and they're like, I really don't want to go. That's how it happened. I'm an introvert. I am an introvert. So I went, and it was a fantastic time. This library was so cozy. I sat on a futon. I ate at a country restaurant. And that's what they called it, Wimpy's Country Restaurant. I went there and I ate Wimpy's Country Kitchen. And the food was like homemade food. It's like that warm coal, warm log that sits in your stomach and makes you go night night because you're so full and satisfied. And the meal didn't look huge, but when I ate it, I was like satisfied. I had chicken livers and I had chuck wagon steak. Do you know what it takes for me to gamble on a menu, especially nowadays when money is what money is? And I have no. Do you know what chuck wagon steak is? What the hell is chuck wagon steak? I saw it and I said, that's it. And I stopped thinking. I put my brain on a shelf. I said, that's what I'm going to get. This is an hour before I'm going to see Jeff Strand and Lynn Hansen. And I'm a minute away from the venue, from the library. And I just walk into this restaurant. Now, this is Tennessee. We're on Tennessee time. I know in Chicago, they try to give you the food and scoot you out in 10 minutes. But here, you can linger a little longer. But no, it was quick service. So I was worried about it. So I wanted to order fast. And I'm like, that and a side of chicken livers. Don't judge me. I am addicted to chicken livers. And so I did that, and it was the perfect meal. And then I went and saw Jeff Strand and Lynn Hansen. Lynn Hansen talked first. Amazing career. I had no idea she did so many book covers. No, none idea. And she talked about her life and how she grew up a horror fan and then, was married Jeff. And then Jeff needed this book cover done for Wolf Hunt. And she did it, whip bang. And then all of a sudden that led to a whole bunch of people asking for her to do book covers. So, and then her career took off and she's like, I'm booked until March of 2024. So she's got a lot on her plate and she does a lot. And Jeff then took the stage and he read and he was selling some books. So the dude bought some books. I bought Ferocious. Now, this is a Lynn Hansen cover. Didn't know that. I got this signed. And I bought his new book, Veiled. And I got it signed. And then Clowns versus Spiders. And he read from this one. And I can't wait to keep reading. Jeff Strand's going to be kind of moved up my TBR because I have a lot of fun reading Jeff Strand. And he also read from this, Attack of the Killer Tomatoes. Now I have the limited paperback edition from Encyclopocalypse. And so I had to get him to sign this. He was selling these books. He was sitting right there, like 10 feet away with a little table and all these books on it. And he was selling them for $10 each. And David Malchaski was there. And that was awesome. I had a lot of fun meeting him. It was just great. And I am serious when I encourage people to go to these events that I'll be at, because I really do want to meet you and hang out and talk. And it's a lot of fun, even though, yes, Potato, I am an introvert. So it takes a lot. At the end of the day, of after this, when I shut this off, even though nobody else is in the room with me, I will need a breather. It's true. It takes all my energy. It takes all my energy. I'm gonna crash after the Fracassi event in Nashville. Yeah, I'm gonna crash. I mean, not like hopefully in a car, Black House is a fine novel. Feels more Straub. Yeah. Did you get him to sign Attack of the Killer Tomatoes? Yeah, I'm glad I got to that. Yeah. This one, not the other one. And the rub of it is I brought Demonic, one of his other books, for him to sign. And I didn't ask him. I totally man, what's that word? I'm blanking on the word blanking. I think I'll come up with it. Anti-Gaia, do you like Fuminori Nakamura? I have no idea who that is. If anybody else in the chat knows, please tell Anti-Gaia what you think of Fuminori Nakamura. Hey, I made chicken livers tonight with some bomb pasta. Jill, chicken livers and pasta. Oh, that sounds awesome. Did I tell you this story about chicken livers? I discovered chicken livers in Tennessee. We were visiting Knoxville because we were thinking about moving to Knoxville. And we went into this place, Austin's Family Buffet. And I walked up to this bin of breaded goodness. And I grabbed a couple and put it on my plate. And then I went back to my table and ate. And when I got to these little breaded nuggets and I ate them, I'm like, what? Are these mushrooms? They're not breaded mushrooms. It's meat, but it's like mushrooms. This tastes so good. What is this? And then when I went back to refill my plate, there was some edgelord emo kid dumping a bunch of more breaded nuggets into the bin, fresh, just right on top of the old ones. I go, sir, what are those? What day is this? And he said, chicken livers. Just like that. He was like, he had absolute contempt for me and my question. Probably my Chicago accent as well. Just looked at me as chicken livers. And that was it. And that was it. That's how an addiction began. That's exactly what it was. I'd love to recommend you a very good series called Helldivers by Nicholas Sansbury Smith. I've read it. My mother has read it. It is truly outstanding. I even have a signed copy. All right. Well, that's in the chat now. That's documented. We will go back and look. So, Helldivers. Sounds cool. I have a few Jeff Strand books in my collection. I thought you had all the Thunderstorms. Thanks for the Strand reminder. I still need to get the Veiled trade paperback, even though it'll eventually be a Thunderstorm Limited. Oh, really? It's confirmed? Yeah, I read the synopsis in the video I'm going to post tomorrow. So if you got nothing to do on the 4th, you could check it out. It sounds great. He referred to it as a thriller. So I'm very interested in reading it. He's a great guy. Oh, he won a literary prize in 2002. Okay, that's Nakamura. No, I've never read that author. So I'm glad to have him on my have the author on my radar. It slipped your memory. Yeah, I was blanking on it. Oh, Fuminori Nakamura is the pseudonym of a Japanese author. Nakamura came to international attention. Okay, when he won the 2010 Kenzaburo Oe Prize for his novel The Thief. Sauteed like 5 shallots, threw in chicken livers, mushroom, garlic, fresh rosemary and thyme, some tomato paste, and pasta. You're a bastard, Mitch. Mitch, you're a flavor sensation. You do it with your beers. You just did that right there. That was like a flavor. That was a symphony of flavors. Man, I got to get more Rapture. I'm out of Rapture, man. I'm out of time. Not enough time. Not enough time. It was a good run, though. It was a good run while I had it. Chicken livers? Oh, my God, no way. What do you mean, no way? Chicken livers, man. It's chicken livers. I've read The Thief. A little culturally odd, different for me in spots, but I definitely enjoyed it. Chicken livers, fried okra, grits. I don't know about grits. Chopped barbecue, collard greens. Southern food is delicious. Oh, you're speaking to me, Phil. Jill says yes on the grits. I don't know about grits. I mean, I just don't know. I love okra. I love collard greens. Yes. If you ever make it to Tulsa, I'll cook up some for you. The chicken livers are from the farm. Rapture is on. Is Mitch living in heaven, Jill? Is Mitch living in heaven? Y'all are making me hungry. Oh, I need to send you more Rapture. Yes, you do. So I got to get you. We got to talk, I guess. Gumbo is one of my favorite dishes. See, I don't know about gumbo either. Jill says it's the best. Like jambalaya and gumbo. I do like gumbo. The jambalaya is what I don't like. But I love Cajun. So like going to New Orleans. If I lived in New Orleans, I would die in a month because I would gain 300 pounds and I would clog every artery I have. Every single one of them. So I mean, if it's deep fried, if fried anything. You ever get a soft shell crab? I went to New Orleans once and it was soft shell crab season. And the guy that was hosting us was a great guy from Metairie, Louisiana. And he's like, I want you guys to try soft shell crab. We got it. Producer Jill looked at it like, what did I get myself into? This is a spider. There's a spider on my plate that I can't kill because it's already dead. And I'm supposed to put it in my body. And at one point, she took her fork, which she stuck it in the breading and pulled out yellow gelatinous stuff, shakes it at me and says, "Am I supposed to eat it?" And then the gospel according to Jeff is if it's within the breading, it's fair get your it's mandatory. You got to eat it. I know what you're thinking. Dude, fried chicken has bones in it often, unless they're nugs. You don't eat the bones. Yeah, I understand. Crabs don't have bones. They just have 100% deliciousness. Oh, I want a soft shell crab now. A big one. I mean, and then when the waitress brought out our food, the guy that we were with was upset. He goes, "These aren't crabs. These are lice. These are tiny. I want crabs. I want them the size of the dinner plate. I promise these people excellent soft shell crab, the best in the town. And that's why I brought them here. I'll go somewhere else where they actually have real." And then she went back and she came out with a dinner plate size crab. And that's when I fell in love with New Orleans. If you cooked me up here, if you gave me soft shell crab, garlic mashed potatoes, and deep fried chicken livers, and a Rapture stout, I'd have to punch you. I would love you too much. I'd have to punch you. Just go. Just gotta punch you. You're too perfect. It would be too much. It would be too much for this guy. Poor crabs. Oh, poor delicious crabs. You ever see that crab rave? I can't do the song, the crab rave. Delicious crabs. And you know what? We had a crawfish boil back in Chicagoland. Crawfish boil is we get these crawfish shipped to us in a 40-pound bag, and they're live crawfish. And what you do is you give them a saltwater bath, and that's supposed to make them purge their mud vein. I don't know how true that is, but you give them that little saltwater bath, and then you pour them directly into boiling water. And Potato there was at this crawfish boil when she was just a tiny little wee thing, and she was playing with the crawfish. And I said, "Don't play with them. That's a little cruel. Not throwing them in boiling water." Oh, but they die with their friends, and isn't that how you're supposed? Isn't that the best way to go with your friends? Pour them in there. Psh, got the floating corn. Oh, the floating garlic. The floating potatoes and all of that. Oh, I really didn't think this is going to be turning into a cooking show. Soak some livers in Rapture beer and maybe. Following your series, What to Expect, will you ever do one for PS? As I purchase different seasons by Stephen King, would love to get ahead on what to expect. I guess I could. I was going to shy away from the presses that I don't collect a whole lot from. I don't want to steer anybody wrong. You know, my next one's going to be SST, SST, Earthling, and Levidian. But maybe I will. Maybe I'll do what to expect when you're collecting and just do a summary video of a few of the presses that I have gotten quite a few from PS Publishing. So I have bought direct from them and Folio. So I have a rudimentary, but there's some people that go deep on Folio, and like when I watch somebody else talk about Suntup, some other booktubers who don't know what they're dealing with, but then want to talk about some nice edition they have. There have been 3 so far that have talked about Suntup, and I was just sitting there going, "No, that's not true," or you're not giving them the full story, or where did you get that information? And I guarantee that if I were to talk about Folio, there'd be some people that'd be like, "Dude," and even still with Centipede and maybe even with Levidian, there may be some that are like, "Yeah, there's also this," So anyway, I'm just going for the basics, but maybe I can talk about PS and Folio, especially for people who are stateside collecting from these UK companies. UK publishers. From my 10 years working at the House of Blues, I learned to love jambalaya, gumbo, and especially crawfish etouffee. Let's just, you know what, Jill? We're just getting a bus. We're going to New Orleans. God damn it.
Okay.
You ready?
Yeah.
God damn it. We're going.
Have the flights?
No, we're driving, man. It's 7 hours.
Okay. Oh, wow. That's not long.
Son of a bitch. I'm going. Who's going to meet me in New Orleans? We're going there. We're going to do some ghost tours. We're going to get blind drunk on, well, not my children, but anybody who wants to is going to get blind drunk on Bourbon Street. We'll probably get robbed. But it's all going up in here in the old scrapbook. Wake up with crabs in our pants. Tried catfish, boiled crawdads, collard greens, hush puppies, sausage gravy and biscuits, chicken fried steaks, chicken fried steak, grits, jalapeno cornbread, and maybe butter and fried okra. Oh, this is too much, man. Bread pudding with bourbon sauce, dirty rice with alligator chunks, and andouille sausage. Now, I've had alligator. Alligator is like chicken fish. If you eat alligator, it's like chicken fish. It's delicious. Oh, mint juleps and sweet tea. Well, sweet tea is here. I'm in the land of sweet tea, and I am home. I'm in the land of chicken livers and sweet tea. I am home. I don't know when I'm going to start to get an accent. I don't know if I ever will, but I'm home. Mint juleps, yes. The sea is a wacky place. Shrimp, crab, octopus, alien-like creatures. Like so a comedian said, who's the first one to look at a lobster and say, oh, that's going to be delicious? I don't even want to hear about, wait, man, now I'm missing. Potato was mad. Potato was mad. I don't want to even hear about the poor crawfish. Poor delicious crawfish. Shrimp cocktail and pickled asparagus. Oh, so one day at the House of Blues in the back kitchen, I watched Chef purge a big batch of crawfish. Hey, Chad's here. SST email, you want to talk about it? Purging crawfish is a way of killing the crawfish before cooking them so that they purge themselves of everything from every orifice. This is done using some salt water with vinegar. Jeff, for presses you don't collect much from, you should give a guest reviewer. Just a thought. Guest reviewer. Okay. Hi, Chad. Saw the new book. Looks amazing. What are we talking about? Didn't get an S email. So swampy chicken. Yes, chicken fish. Okay, so you didn't get the SST email. Okay. It was for people. Oh, Mike. Mike shared a deet that I'm not going to repeat, but you could just read Mike's comment. It was for somebody. It was for those people who bought a certain book, and it is going to continue with that author's work. And the interesting thing is, the dust jacket is by the same artist who did the previous works from this author, but the interior art is from a different artist. So, and they also did a reversible dust jacket that has the interior artist's artwork on that. So it sounds to me like SST wanted that uniformity on the shelf, but also maybe that artist who originally did the other like 6 books couldn't do it for this book. So couldn't commit to doing a full book and just like, okay, well, I'll do the cover, but you have to do it. You have to get another artist for the interiors. So that was the thing. I'd rather have a good steak because I love steak. God damn, this is the culinary show. Jason's here. Happy Monday, Jason. Good to see you. You haven't missed much. We're talking a lot about food, man. Talking a lot about food. Food's good. I haven't had good food. Like, producer Jill makes great food. She made a batch of baked beans. They're for tomorrow, but I guarantee they won't make it there tonight. I'm gonna eat them all. I'm just gonna eat them all. Eat them beans. A lot of talk on the Food Network tonight, Jason. Yeah. So yes, that SST email came, and you all know about buying freezes. So even though I have the 6 other books from this author, I have to pass. It hurt me to get that SST email. It really did. But it has to be a no. And I thought there was another one I had to pass on 2 this week. Oh, but it hurts. What I didn't pass on, though, is that No One is Safe. You can't pass on the SST. It's a great book. I have the book. And I have a signed first edition of the book. So I'm gonna read it. I just can't do it, man. This is like I have to right the ship before I sail. I just have to. You know, you got to be an adult. I think it's my second favorite. Wow. Well, I have it, so I'm going to read it and enjoy it. I'm sure. There's just some things. Okay, so when SST announced Daphne, yeah, I had to get it. Josh Malerman. There are a few authors that are just I will find a way. Josh Malerman, Philip Fracassi, Chad Lutsky, Jason Pargin. These are authors that, yeah, I'm Jeff Strand. These are ones that I'm going to try to get. But that author just, I have to draw the line somewhere, and it's rough. So anyway, how about 1-inch thick marbled ribeye tomahawk steak cooked a perfect juicy medium of rare sprinkle with pink Hawaiian sea sauce flambe, blah, blah, blah. Horseradish glaze. Throw a horseradish glaze on that, Hans. Horseradish glaze on a steak. Oh. If it's the Paul Bears Club, don't feel too bad. It was the only Tremblay I DNF. It's kind of a divisive one. I understand passing on books. Should have gotten a pre-order for CDs, The Stand, on Dark Regions Press, but passed it. Could have made a profit on it, but rather others get one. Others that want one get it. Just got done hanging out with my spirit. Oh, yes. Damn it. That podcast is recorded? I saw that and I wanted to listen to it. Thank you for the reminder. Last time he talked for 3+ hours. This time we had a time limit. Oh, Chad. So Chad talked to Joe Lansdale on his podcast, The Bleeding Page, right? That's the name of it. Oh, I saw that. Yes. Oh, man. 2 of my favorite people. Shit. And then I didn't even realize you had him on there before. Yeah, that's what I got to do. Like when I should remember to tell Alexa to put on some podcasts. I got to listen to more podcasts. Yeah, the Bleeding Page podcast. Lansdale is amazing. He's on my bucket list to meet. Don't worry, Jeff. It wasn't live. We recorded it. Yeah, no, that's great. I'm definitely gonna have to see that or read or hear that. Oh, yes, I forgot about that. Thanks for the reminder. So, we talked about Jeff Strand. It was just an incredible time. David Melchowski was there, so he can attest to it. So, Fracassi's No One is Safe. That's in the description. So you get the UK edition of Boys in the Valley from Orbit, from Blackwell's, $11 shipped. shipped. I mean, that's 11, yes, including the shipping from the UK to the States. What the hell? And no one is safe. It's on sale. It's a pre-order sale, so it's $18. Normally it's 23, and it comes with a signed book plate from the man Fracassi himself. So those are two books you should get. They're both both links are in the description to this video. So anybody who wants them, get on it. And I mean, I understand if you got a Boys in the Valley coming from VJ Books or Barnes and Noble or wherever you order your trade editions, and you're like, okay, I don't need an Orbit UK edition. It's a different cover. It's cool looking. I like the cover. I think it's cool. It's a toss up. This cover. I like this. I love this cover. I think I like that other cover more. It feels it's more stark, and it pulls you in more, I think. And this tells a little bit of the story right here on the cover. So it's a toss up. I mean, it's all it's all art. It's what you dig and what you don't. But anyway, those are two books you should go get. Look, nobody else did it. So once again, it's my pleasure to huzzah producer Jill. Huzzah. Everyone raise a drink to the PJ. She says thank you, and she says huzzah right back at y'all. See, I'm getting to be Southern. I just bought that Boys in the Valley from Blackwell's. Can't believe it's so cheap. I can't either. That's nuts. Orbit are a great genre publisher. They do some great authors, yes. Yes, I agree. The Orbit cover fits the story. I don't hear Couch Kitty, and I'm having a concern. No, she's around. She's mellowing. We're gonna try to get her to a vet to get fixed to stop the screeching. Our other cat, Milo, the male cat who is fixed, so shows no interest in a screaming female cat. He spends his time in the garage now. And the garage is not climate controlled. And it was 106 with the heat index the other day. And he just likes laying in there on his fat ass, just rolling in the filth and then hunting the little game that comes in there, which is like little flies and such. He like plays I'm in the Serengeti, you know? But she's fine. Jason, I found the pacing and narrative structure frustrating. There were promising elements, especially at the beginning, but it continually felt like these elements were getting the short shrift. He's talking about Paul Bear's Club. You know, I've heard a fair amount of criticism of Paul Bear's Club and Daphne. Psst, psst. When I was a kid, I was in a gang called the Vandals. We called ourselves the Vandals. We were a small group of white suburban teenagers, and we did psst, psst. We said psst, psst. Yes, we were the Vandals. We gained quite the reputation for mischief. The Vandals. We also caused a lot of trouble on the CB radio. I think a lot of people seem to agree with you. It seems to be a very divisive book that folks tend to really like or really dislike. Looks like you and I fell on opposite sides this time. Now, I don't know who I would agree with in this little dispute. Ron likes Bentley Little, but he also loves The Road. I don't know. The Descendants. I had a cat named Milo, best cat ever. I named him after Milo Ackerman from The Descendants. Oh, The Descendants. You struck the punk nerve with Chad Lutsky. And I'm sorry, Chad, I had to cut the hair. I nobody mentioned it, and I almost went the whole night without talking about my haircut. I got the hairs cut. I don't have the discipline and dedication and attention to detail that long hair requires. So it went away. I mean, I still got the poof. I can't do away with the poof. And the poof is a little like kid and play right now. Kid and play, not kitten. 90s hip hop act, kid and play. Because I was wearing that cowboy hat. Oh, I noticed the hair is so disappointed. A real vandal wouldn't cut his hair. Psst, psst. The Vandals had a newsletter. It's called Breaking News. We also caused trouble on the Citizens Band radio. It was awesome. Hi, Jeff. I'm so sorry I'm late, but I love the hair so much. Happy Monday. Thank you, Russell. Russell, clock's ticking, man. Soon, you and Rolled Oats, you could attend a live taping of Go Jeff Your Shelf. A live taping. If you would like. I honestly don't see how that would hold your interest, but I'd love to have you here. Producer Jill would get you some sweet tea and some chicken livers if that's anything you're interested in. Maybe not, but chicken livers are. We have no chicken liver. We might have one chicken liver in the house. I forgot about that chicken liver, Jill. At a live taping, can we throw overripe tomatoes at Jeff? You could, but not at the bookcase. Like this, no, this is sacred. I would have to do the live taping outside then. And then I would read to you from Attack of the Ripe Tomatoes. That'd be fair game. Sure, why not? Hey, Jeff, your hair is cool. Thank you. Cover the bookcase with a tarp. Yeah, I'd have to, but it would just be outside. Trust me. I would do it in the trampoline. I'd do a live taping in our trampoline, and then I'd jump while you threw overripe tomatoes, if that's your bag. So I talked about Fracassi. I talked about Levidian with that clue that I think might be Ramsey Campbell. I would keep your bag of bones safe for you. Yeah, I know you would. I talked about Jeff Strand. Okay. Oh, I talked about the SST secret link and the reversible dust jacket. Oh, you know what I didn't talk about? Zagava's doing a tarot deck. And it looks awesome. Zagava, the publisher in Germany who did Don't Let Them Get You Down and The Egotist, they're doing a tarot deck. I've been thinking like this is a no-brainer. I would love Suntup to do a tarot deck. The rub of it is stellar. It's only 22 cards. They look amazing, but a tarot deck is 78 cards. And he only did the major arcana, which consists of 22 cards, not the minor. So it's a disappointment at that, but it still looks so cool. Zagava. It's like 34 euros, which probably translates to 40 some dollars. Jeff, did you see Christopher is reading The Groomer? So damn brutal. I know. He messaged me. He goes, hey, I heard you talking about this book. Is it any good? I'm like, I didn't read it. I don't have the cojones to read that book. I'm afraid to read that book. Then he describes something that happened in the book. And I'm like, there's no way I could read this book. There's no way. As bad as I would like the story, how I think it ends with some really, really extremely bad guy getting what he deserves. I don't think I could handle through why he deserves that brutality. I don't think I can handle getting through that, reading that. But yeah, he's reading it because I mentioned it and he's fascinated with it. So I hope the revenge plays out because that's what he's really looking forward to. Also, how we not talked about CD shipping the interview? We are definitely. Left field topic. Has anyone else read Child Grave by Ken Greenhall? I finished it a week or so ago. Very odd book. Looking to hear other opinions. I didn't read it. So if anybody else has, please sound off. Child Grave. That was the two books, Child Grave and Elizabeth, that Centipede published back to back. I hear Tremblay's new collection, The Beast You Are, has a long titular novella in the form of a long prose poem. Not sure about that one. I would think the same thing, but Pogue Mahone by Patrick McCabe is a long free verse poem, and it works. Maybe they will expand it to include the minor arcana. That would be cool. I just don't have the budget for a tarot deck. Is the slipcase an upgrade, or was it sold with initially? No. So they sold this interview with a vampire. You could buy the slipcase was optional. You could buy the book, and then you could buy the book with the slipcase. So they're shipping them separately. So that I think that was baked in. What other booktuber talks food and tarot decks? Tarot decks. Not as disappointing it will be when Zagava does the minor arcana cards later and you didn't get the major. Yeah, that would suck. The fact Chris Webster's exposure to extreme horror comes from The Groomer is hilarious to me. Why? Because it's so extreme. It's like the deep end. I'll try anything he writes. Bad poetry is not my bag at all. Oh, but poetry. Yeah. See, now I want to get the tarot deck, even though I don't like that sort of thing. FOMO is real. Chris is going all in. Chris never read The Groomer. He doesn't actually read books. My God. I think it was sold together, but I could be wrong. Yeah. It was sold together. So they had it where they had the book or the book and the slipcase. So there are some people that didn't opt in for the slipcase. I don't know why you would go the lengths to get a limited edition signed by the author and not spring for that slipcase, but whatever. It was just like 6 years late, and it came out with no interior art. But again, it wasn't priced that bad. I guess it was a $60 book. So I guess all things considered, it wasn't priced to have interior art. But 6 years ago, $60 was a different amount of money. Anyway, a lot of people got it. They got it late, so late, and then they get glue on the cover board, the front boards. They're like more than a few people have said, I have just dried glue on the front board. Like there's not supposed to be dried glue on that, my friend. So they have to pluck it off or try to get it off or leave it alone and just so they don't do further damage to the book. It's a great spot to be in when you waited 6 goddamn years for a book and then you get it and it's dinged or damaged or whatever. And the real shame of it is, here's a book, Anne Rice, she signed the signature sheets and then she passed away before the book could see the light of day. That to me is sad. Now, I mean, it could happen to any author when the book is published in a timely manner, they could sign it, send the sheets off, and 6 months later, the book is in print, but that author passed away in the meantime. So it's not necessarily, but the length of time, but the odds can increase the more time passes. So that's such a shame. Anne Rice never got to see this book come out, and it's just pathetic. I mean, SST would say otherwise. Mine looks like I expected it to. Just glad Anne Rice's signature made it in. Yeah. I think Interview with the Vampire was okay for the price point, but it was a little underwhelming. I would have preferred to have interior illustrations rather than be oversized. Rice Sig though. Yeah. Interview was only $60. I'm less interested to even see it now. I would not expect much from CD at 60. I mean, they did some good books. I mean, they do a standard book, right? A nice, well made, like I'm thinking of John Dies at the End. That was a fine book. Cool boards, nice dust jacket, limited print run, and a sturdy hardcover, a notch above a trade edition. So I can understand, and then not interview, Damnation Game was similar, but that was more expensive. It was $100 and it came with the slipcase. But yeah, so interview was $60, but if you went with the slipcase, it was altogether 85. It's cheaper than Damnation Game. Damnation Game. So that's kind of what I'm comparing it to. A nicely made book, a very nice book. Nothing super special though. That's a risk for every author that signs with CD. Yeah. Also, this may be a spoiler, but Midas by Earthling has interior art. No, it's not a spoiler. My arc doesn't, so I'm a little. I. It's one worth getting. Let me just say that it is definitely worth getting. Knowing, the arc I have does not have the Josh Mallerman introduction, and it doesn't have any interior art. So I'm really missing out on a book I like. Cry for me, Argentina. This was 2014. Oh my God. It was 2014. So that was more than 6 years ago. That was 9 years ago. Wow. I would have liked something a little special for this book, though. Yeah. This was 2014 for whatever dollars when many limited editions were sub 100. Yeah. Yeah, Mitch. Even the arc of Midas had 3 illustrations. Well, I have the very early readers arc. Oh, you don't have the Mallerman intro either, huh? Damn. I could send you pics of the art. No, that's okay. That's okay. Their Graveyard series is nice for the cost. And for a while, that's all they were publishing. David's here. Good. Good to see you. Just got back from the lake. Hey, take it. I'm glad you could come by, man. Jeff and I are still waiting for Turn Down the Lights, which was ordered in 2013. Yes. 10 years for that book. A nice, big, beautiful, beefy number that everybody can sink their teeth into. 10 years waiting for a book. Oh, turn down the lights. Turn the lights off on your way out is more like it. Am I right? Interview was 2016. Okay. Still at 7 years. 6, 7 years. I mean, it sucks, man. But there were some apologists on Facebook saying, "You guys, there's a lot of negativity about Cemetery Dance. There's a little too much negativity." Are you kidding? Too much negativity. It's like, what other business can you give? Literally, one guy says he has thousands of dollars sitting with Cemetery Dance in orders. I don't know how you have that many, but he has thousands. He probably has lettered editions all over the place. He has several, maybe he's got every copy. I don't know what he's got sunk into that place. But to just totally ignore all those people and then say, man, you guys are a little too negative. Either you just found out about Cemetery Dance or you're related to the Chismar and you have a vested interest in protecting Cemetery Dance, because it's absolute crazy bullshit to be waiting 10 years for a book when they're showing pictures of that Gwendy trilogy in slipcases ready to ship so they could bribe people to buy his goddamn Chasing the Boogeyman or Becoming the Boogeyman or whatever goddamn boogeyman he's doing. So don't tell. It's just you're such a. And if you think just sitting there mildly by, there you go. You just, yeah, no, sit on my money. No, no, no. Go ahead. If you go out of business, oh well, I'd have the memories of thinking about books. So that's worth the money. Um, if they think that's going to help CD actually get their shit together, they're not helping CD, they're not helping the people waiting. And who the hell are you to tell us we're being too negative? Seriously. Is this your money? Do you how much skin do you have in the game? And you know what? Even if you do have thousands in, that's your goddamn business. It just boggles my mind. Why would anybody be an apologist? And I understand negativity is ugly. We don't like it. Who wants negativity? Nobody wants conflict. Nobody wants that sort of crap. But it does not help to run from it either, or chastise the people who are pissed. Um, what do we, Lance? I've considered the Graveyard series, but never tried them. The Tremblay titles are intriguing to me. I would like to compare them to the SSTs and see how they hold up. Well, I could do that for you, Jason. Where are we at? I could do that for you. You want? Okay. All right. No ass crack. We're good. Okay. All right. So here it is. You want? I mean, if you want to see it, we could do this. Negativity. The negativity is one of the reasons I avoid the Dark Tower forum. Yeah, I got the ARC for Shockline 10 years ago. I've still got 5 or 6 orders pending from them, including slipcases. Oldest has turned down the lights too. 1 hour and 25 minutes, and we get our CD rant. Do it up. Okay, so here is a head full of ghosts. I did not get Disappearance at Devil's Rock. I was super pissed at Cemetery Dance at that point, and so I sold my other Graveyard series books. I was going to do a snarky thing and buy all the Graveyard editions except the Bentley Little ones, and then I just got so pissed at Cemetery Dance that I just kissed my ass. I'm not giving you any more money. So, but I kept a head full of ghosts, and so this is their Easton Press knockoff line. It's nice. It's not like a padded leather. It's like a leather-ish material. It's not thick. You can see these boards are pretty thin. Um, they have a feel of leather, just the smoothness of it. And then the foil stamping is kind of nice, very ornate. These designs, these borders around the books are all different patterns. They have this faux marbled end paper design, which is okay. It's nice. And then a very simple signature sheet. You can see that mimics the pattern of the foil on the cover. And that is it. And then the rest is just the book. It's no interior illustrations. Decent enough paper. The paper quality is fine. They do have the ribbon page marker there. I've not read this edition. The page design is fine. It's not. I mean, the paper quality isn't all that great. Now that I'm giving it another look, it's a little better than trade edition, mass market trade, but it's not like the super nice thick paper, and it's okay. It's an okay sort of thing. It's just a standard signed edition and doesn't have a dust jacket. I think this is Cemetery Dance trying to do a limited edition without a dust jacket. It doesn't have the spine ribbon, the spine hubs, but it has the lines like it's supposed to, so it's sort of a imitation of an old school fine press edition, and it's fine. It's fine. It's $50, a decent enough value for a signed book that has a little flair to it, and that's basically it. And then, of course, The negativity in the DT form is very localized, easy to avoid. Yeah. I have all the SST and one CD. I like the SST better. I have disappearance. I used to respond to negativity with negativity there in the past, but it just now just avoid certain threads. Yeah. I was exposed to too much. Some very rude people. Yeah, there were some that were bad in the Dark Tower forum. Yeah, and so that's a shame. The problem. Okay, so I'll be negative, and if you want to defend Cemetery Dance, it's fine. You're entitled to your opinion, and I won't make it personal about you. Um, Even though I was just getting mad at that person for telling me how I should feel about Cemetery Dance. But that's because they were lecturing me. So I don't lecture you. If you're okay with giving Cemetery Dance your money, that's your business. And if you think it's worth the wait, then that's your opinion. I don't share those beliefs, and I resent how Chismar treats his customers. It's disgusting. And I think we deserve better. But I won't make it about you, or the other person who feels differently. And I think that's the problem on the DT forum. There have been a lot of people that will then personally attack that other person unnecessarily. So if you have a difference of opinion on no matter what it is, hear the other person out, make your retort about the content of their discussion. And if you got to make it personal, just leave. Just don't engage on that level. That's a waste of time. One thing I will say is this book feels like it needs a top edge stain, doesn't it? But it doesn't. There's no it should have a top edge, a foil top edge stain, but it doesn't. And it feels like it's lacking a gilded edge. So then, yes, of course, we have Head Full of Ghosts by SST, has the Daniel Sarah dust jacket. Look at that bad boy. Daniel Sarah's one of my faves. And very nice. This is the one I read. I loved this book. Beautiful foil stamp cover, nice boards, full color glossy signature sheet, and then art throughout. So I don't think there's a comparison to be made. This blows the Graveyard Edition out of the water. And the price on the secondary now, it's maybe unattainable. I mean, I don't do the secondary market unless it's a deal and I can get it cheaper than retail. But if it's above retail, I don't bother. The only thing this book doesn't have that the Graveyard Edition has is the ribbon page marker. Okay. I have a bookmark for that, and SST sends bookmarks with every book order. So, hands down, it's this book. Hands down, it's the SST edition. So we are doing that. And speaking of SST, I got a couple SSTs in the mail. Terror is Our Business, Casey and Joe Lansdale. Dana Roberts' case book of horrors. And it has extra material not found anywhere else. And it is, I mean, this feels like a Centipede Press edition. The black cloth boards. I mean, this is an even better production than Head Full of Ghosts. And beautiful art by Dirk Berger. And then I also got, oh man, this is a beauty. Inspection. Ben Baldwin, Josh Mallerman, SST. What could be better? Look at this beauty. Gaze upon it and rejoice in the beauty that is in the world. This is the gospel according to Jeff. So, yes, hands down, SST. I was actually thinking that Graveyard Edition would look nicer with cream-colored faux antique pages. The bright white doesn't suit it. Good point. Like that thinking as well. I agree. Not having either of them, I agree, Jeff. The Graveyard looks pretty, but the SST looks better in ways I care about. The only thing I will ding SST on is the spine treatments. He makes the titles really hard to read on the spines on some of these books. I'm holding it up close to you so you can see it. It looks like the book is called Ghosts. Like some of the lettering gets lost on it, and so I don't like that. I would prefer if Paul Fry just went blank on the spines instead of hard to read titling. But that's my only criticism uh, of anything Paul Fry does. I'm getting the stink eye. Okay. Anyway, because we're over an hour or over 90 minutes. So um I do wish Paul would add ribbon markers, but I agree that I prefer the SST. Yeah. I haven't received any shipping notice for my copy of Inspection yet. Maybe Paul shipped it on the down low. Well, the funny thing is, I got a shipping notice for Terror is Our Business. Did you order that? Because if you order that, he might bundle them together. Because that's how mine showed up. Terror is Our Business, and Inspection came in the same box. Well, if you saw the video, my unboxing of that, uh, that is funny. That is funny that he snuck that one in there. I had this sitting around. You know what this is? This is the Cemetery Dance Collectors Club card. I was a member of Collectors Club 10. That gives me cred. Ha! Badass, right? You know what this card gets you? Not a goddamn thing. Richard Chismar still won't give you your goddamn books. That's a good point, Jeff. The spines can be a bit muddled. Like you, I love the overall product. Yes, I even hate saying that. I do because I love SST so much. I was in the CDCC on and off for 10 years. My terror came with Demon Theory a while back. Okay. He might be bundling these together because he's having so many problems with the Royal Mail. So I don't know. SST's edition of Little's the Bank looks so much nicer than the CD edition I have. Probably need to upgrade. So my SST edition of The Listener was far better than my Cemetery Dance edition of The Listener, and I have the lettered edition of The Listener. Night and day, man. Probably still waiting on the extras from the CD Club. I am. I got nothing. I mean, when Brian James Freeman was there, at least I felt like there was a human looking out for me, an advocate trying to get the stuff to us. And now he's gone. It's just like whatever. I saw no reason to stay with the CDCC this year. I finally let it go. Yeah. I let it go last year. I never will go back to that. Never. I have no idea what the extras were, or what's pending. It's money gone at this point. Yeah. It's a shame. Oh, great news to share with yous. Robert McCammon is going to be at the Alabama Booksmith doing another event for 7 Shades of Evil. And damn if I'm going to be there October 28th. I didn't even tell this to producer Jill yet. This is breaking news. Breaking news. October 28th, Alabama Booksmith, Robert McCammon, another event. So Tim Bedwell, yes, I'll be there. Awesome. I didn't know if you saw it, but I was thinking of you first and foremost. They do things a little differently now. You got to buy the book to get your seat. So they're really worried about space being limited, and this time they're tying the book to the seat. Last time they didn't tie anything to the reservation, and they probably saw a lot of people come in, get books signed, and leave without buying anything, and that's got to suck because they're there to sell books. So anyway, Alabama Booksmith in Homewood, Alabama, near Birmingham. So I'll be there October 28th. Would love to go. I would love to see you there. And every book, you're entered for a chance to win this walking stick that he uses in his promotional photos. Now, Robert McCammon does a fun thing with his author photo for the Matthew Corbett series. He dresses up in like colonial garb and he, sort of plays the character. That guy is a card, man. That guy he's a brilliant guy. And so he poses for the photo in the costume, and he has a walking stick. And everybody who buys a book is entered for a chance to win the walking stick. So now, if you can't go to this event, still buy a signed book from Alabama Booksmith and get entered for a chance to win that cane, that walking stick. I'd love to be able to go see McCammon there. Long history with them, I hear. Yeah. I mean, he's like right next door. I guess he lives so close that it's like his home base. So you got enough time, Peter. Carve out some time. Get there. Go there. That'd be fun, man. I get a signed copy from Levidian already. So, well, did you get a signed trade? That's the thing they're selling, is a signed trade. Signed trade edition. I buy my trade McCammons from them, signed at list price, and support the store. Oh, that's awesome, Peter. That's awesome. Yeah, I recommend that. Like I said before, if an author has a relationship with an independent bookstore, do business there. It means something. That's awesome. Yeah, Cemetery Dance was doing the Substack. Stephen Dwayne Allison Jr. mentioned it at the top of the show. I didn't know what it was. I'm not going to subscribe. If anybody wants to inform me of what that is, a Substack, is it worth investigating? Is it worth finding people on it? There's so many social media platforms and so much going on. Just seems exhausting to chase down a whole other lead. For what? So you get chasing the boogeyman, becoming the boogeyman, eating the boogeyman, marrying the boogeyman, reproducing with the boogeyman, going to school with the boogeyman books. I'm off the 28th. Amen. All right. Well, it's October 28th. You must know that far in advance. That's great. Go, David. You'll see it's terrific too. It'll be awesome. It's a great time. McCammon's a great guy. The place is a great place. They're very hospitable. Birmingham's a great city. Lots of fun reasons to be there. And October 28th, it won't be that hot. When did we see him last time? In December? Diciembre? I don't remember. Am I talking to myself? Yeah, it's over the 90-minute mark, Jeff. So one thing about the Cemetery Dance, good night, Ron. Good night. Dinner bell rings. Ding, ding, ding. All right, Ron. Enjoy your dinner. 7:13 over there. What was I saying? Oh, the thing about the interview with the vampire from Cemetery Dance. That book's already going for like $300. Already going for $300 on eBay. Interview with a vampire. $60 and then you turn it 300. Okay. I guess it was worth waiting 7 years. 7 goddamn years. How can anybody defend that? How can you be apologist for that behavior? You could be unaffected by it. You could be like, well, whatever. Some people lose their houses to mudslides and wildfires and tornadoes, and some people get cancer and die. You're worried about waiting a long time for a book. Yes, in the grand scheme of things, there are worse things that could happen to you. But I'm not looking at the grand scheme. I saw a funny post that said, to think of the earth as this tiny speck next to the sun, that's just a tiny speck in a galaxy, which is just a tiny speck in a universe, it really makes you think it's okay to eat that whole pie. Because really, how big is that pie? Not big at all. You go have it. All right. Is it time for Mitch's juicy break? Yeah, he was fussy today. It's priced at 60, but I think they actually had to up the price to 85. Wow. You have to do something cool for the 100th stream. We need to talk about that at a production meeting, Ian. We should. Baby needs juice. Oh, Mitch, I hate putting that straw in the juice box for you because then you just squeeze it anyway and the juice shoots out. Like, then I got to hold the juice box and you're like, I want to hold it. No, Mitch. All right. Well, I'm gonna get cutting. You got your links in the description of this video. You're gonna go, hey, Martin's here. The $85 price was only added if you with the optional slipcase. Yeah, I think that's what I said. It was $60, and if you opted for the slipcase, it was $85. So, but 7 years ago, who remembers? Who remembers? That was like 2 presidents ago. Anyway. It's funny because that is legit a daily occurrence in my life. Yeah, don't you hate that? The goddamn juice boxes. The stupid straw. You think you become a ninja, and then you get overconfident, and then you're covered in sticky, crappy discount Honest Kids. Do you drink the Honest Kids juice boxes? Is that Jessica Alba's company, Honest Kids? Or Annie's? I don't know. The organic stuff. What are you doing with juice boxes anyway? You got farm fresh foods, man. You got to do an orchard or something. Uh-oh, I bumped something. Oh boy. Crashing the plane mid-flight. I don't have any gray hair when I ordered it. I didn't have any gray hair when I ordered interview. As macabre as it is, Anne Rice was alive when you ordered interview. Hey, Jeff, I'm here if you can do a short 30 to 45-minute recap. I could, all the small T's, Joshua Poblano. I could. But already I've forgotten everything I said. What's funny is I'll watch this back and go, I said that? What? What did I talk about? Because I write in the description, I think I'm going to talk about, and then I talk. And then then we're here, Then we're here an hour and 45 minutes later. I'm hearing comments from the peanut gallery. I don't got to drive home, Jill. Anyway. All right. Well, I'm going to get going. And there are 2 events coming up, Nashville and Birmingham. And I'm sorry if you're on the West Coast, like our good friend Hunchback Jack. I'm sorry if you're in the middle of tornado land, Tulsa, Oklahoma, like our friend Baby Mitch. I'm sorry. Get your ass to Nashville. Get your ass to Birmingham. You just do it. And I need a Jeff Con. Yeah. Pains me to say that. Well, I deal with that with other liquids, no juice. It's like mommy and daddy's water. And whenever he gets his apple juice pouches and he squeezes it and it squirts everywhere, thinking it's hilarious. Yeah, they're evil. Babies are evil. Good night, applesauce. See you next time, Dave. We mainly just give him farm-grown chicken livers, though. Oh, man, your boy's got to grow up healthy, eating that awesome food, man. That is heaven. I wasn't kidding when I said it. I wasn't being facetious. That is heaven, Mitch. That is heaven. And you know goddamn well it is. You know goddamn well you're living in heaven. Farm fresh. Sure, you got to work for it. But that is the life. Okay. Yeah, seeing Mrs. Rice's Sig in interview was bittersweet. It was sad. I may be able to make Fracasse's Bowling Green, Kentucky appearance. Yeah, that's right on the border of Cincinnati. You should definitely do it, Jason. I recommend you see Philip wherever you can. And with that, I'm going to sign off. I'm going to go about my day. I hope you all, whoever celebrates Independence Day, celebrate responsibly. hopefully you have all your fingers on the 5th of July, but you have a whole head full of good memories, a lot of laughter, a lot of fun, a lot of family, a lot of friends, a lot of happiness. So I wish that for all of you, every single one of you. And I'll see you again next week. And I promise to be even less coherent because I'll be a week older. I'll be a week older. Oh, God.